Although people have written diaries and journals for centuries, the therapeutic potential of reflective writing didn't come into public awareness until the 1960s, when Dr. Ira Progoff, a psychologist in New York City, began offering workshops and classes and the use of what he called the intensive journal method. The researchers suggest that journaling teaches us how to accept our experiences rather than judging them. It is a proven fact that we forget about 80% of what happens to us on a daily basis. I learned that from personal experience because I do have children, and I do remember just slight things that happened as they were growing up. And when I had my second set of toddlers, I decided that at this point, I'm gonna start journaling. I have been journaling on and off for years, but in the last year, after I read the book Storytelling, it actually taught me how to approach journaling as homework for life. In this book, it teaches you how to actually dedicate 5 to 7 minutes of your life at the end of the day to reflect and write about 10 sentences. Exactly what you experienced that day and what happened that day. You would be surprised how much of what you go through on a daily basis you forget. And then when you journal, just a couple of sentences, those sentences don't need to make sense to anyone else but you. Unless you are going to share your journals later on, it really doesn't need to make any sense as long as you understand. And if you go back and read what happened on July 17th, 2017, you know exactly what you meant by writing one sentence or the other. And in general, I keep telling about this in a couple of my videos that journaling really helps you reflect on your self-awareness. And if you went through a trauma experience like I did, then actually writing down how you feel on a day-to-day basis, besides doing therapy, it's such a great way of healing, because when you go back and you read your experiences and how you felt a year ago, you can see how much progress you made. The reason that we tend to forget about what happens to us on a daily basis is we are overtired, we are overstimulated, we have such short attention span that things that we think that don't matter, we just tend to move on and forget. But by journaling every day for a couple of minutes, it's going to make your life that much longer, because every time you think that nothing happened on a particular day, you can go back and read and understand that so many things happen to you on a daily basis and so many things you tend to forget. It's gonna make you appreciate living in the moment that much more. Journaling should be like a routine for you, like you have your evening skincare, the exact same way you should really be journaling, and encourage your children to do the same. So then when they are older and they go back and they read their feelings, their experiences, how they felt on a particular day, how they felt towards you, how they felt towards their first love. It's such a great way of reminiscing and of actually seeing how much you grew as an individual, as a person. Keep in mind, as we age, we have less memory retention. So by actually journaling every day, little by little, you're training your brain. This is an extremely helpful exercise. So here are a couple of benefits that I learned along the lines of journaling every day for the last year and a half. It enhanced my emotional well-being, and it can enhance yours as well. Because whatever you think in your mind and it seems like an unsolvable situation, when you put it down on a piece of paper or if you're typing it into your laptop, it's going to give you that much more clarity. When you actually read it back to yourself, you might understand that it's not as bad as it looks. Increased mindfulness and self-awareness. You are going to be that much more self-aware of your triggers. If you are doing a triggering journal, it's going to teach you how to actually control yourself, because you're gonna go back to a day when you were extremely frustrated and you were extremely upset. If you're actually gonna read your reactions and how you dealt with that situation, it's such a boost of self-confidence and love towards yourself. You're gonna think, look, I actually managed to deal with that situation. When you read what your thoughts in that particular moment, it's an extremely helpful skill to have, for sure. Journal every day. It's going to boost your creativity. If you want to be a writer later on, that's such a great startup for you to actually write down your thoughts in a good manner, in a coherent manner, so someone else can understand what you meant. It definitely boosted my creativity and taught me how to write. It's going to enhance your memory and self-growth because you are going to be reading what happened to you 5 weeks ago, 5 months ago, 5 years ago. It's going to be such a great thing to reminisce when you are actually understanding that your life is that much longer and a lot of events happen on day-to-day basis. You just tend to forget them, unfortunately. Journaling is such a great way of healing, and I can say that from personal experience. Looking back and reading back what you wrote 2 years ago, 3 years ago is going to give you that much more perspective, that much more clarity on who you were as a person, how you healed, what you did to get better, to become better. So if you are in doubt whether or not to start journaling, you should really start. Journaling doesn't necessarily mean you need to use pen and paper. If you are one of those digital nomads and you only enjoy typing as opposed to writing, by all means, you can always do it online. There's plenty of apps, there's plenty of ways of doing it. I'm using Notion. I'm gonna link it down below. I really do love that app. I have it on my phone and it's automatically connected to my laptop. So everything I write down, everything that strikes me, to be honest, because I consider myself a content creator, if I'm reading a book and there's a sentence that actually resonated with me, I have a particular tab in Notion. I just add all of the ideas, whatever I learned that day, so I can always share it later with my audience. I'm gonna link this app down below. It's a great way to start keeping track of what happens to you on a daily basis. Anyways, I hope you're gonna start journaling today. Please do share with me how you journal, which app you use, because I do both. I journal in my Notion app and I have an actual journal that I carry with me and I do it by hand. It adds personality when I actually write it with my hand. But do please comment and let me know what is your way of journaling.